Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode number 83 of the Below the Yellow Line podcast. I'm your host, Joe Landy Pavlon, Justin Hebert, alongside with me for tonight. It's almost your birthday.
Yep.
3 days shy. And
5
5 days
Saturday.
shy.
Yeah, it's on Saturday.
We'll have Danny on the show later tonight. Yep. First and foremost, what a wild race at Martinsville last night. I have no words to describe it. No one could really truly have a correct prediction entering the round of 8 what the final 4 would look like.
Yeah.
But in the end, the drivers who worked hard made it in. The drivers who worked hard didn't make it in. There's only 4 spots. That first spot, of course, being snagged by Joey Logano in the final 4 really, really hurt Harvick. Worse than I thought. And to be fair, no one really expected this to happen. We'll get started with the NASCAR Cup Series race. Justin, tell me by your perspective, how did Kevin Harvick falter this much?
For me, it was also Harvick's car. From the start, he started decent, but it's like in the middle of the stage, his car just fell off. Like, his car was loose, and he was lacking pace off the corner because he was so loose off. It's like the same thing with, like, remember in the spring, the last time we went to Martinsville, remember Denny Hamlin? He spent the first 40 laps on the lead lap. Other than that, he finished 24th. Like, just he was so loose off the corner, then got a tire. He could have catched up if he didn't get the tire issue with Matt Kenseth. But then he started rebounding. But the thing was that somehow Keselowski was just bulleting through the field, and Denny Hamlin was defending Eric Jones, and Eric Jones was not allowed to pass, which people probably know that. Yeah, but like, for me, it was so weird about Harvick, why his car was so loose. And then he got hit by Matt Kenseth, which that really didn't help anything.
No. Okay, let's go down the race results one by one. So obviously Chase Elliott was the driver who win. He won stage 2, led 236 of the 500 laps yesterday. Chase Elliott started 8th and picked up his 10th career win. So Elliott moves on to the next step, just one more step closer to that championship. He's the first Chevrolet to make the championship 4 since Jimmy Johnson in 2016. Wow. We all know how that went. He ended up winning his 7th and final NASCAR Cup Series Championship that day in 2016 at Homestead many years back. Chevy, they've been close. No cigar. I think the closest since Kyle Larson, for sure. In the so it's 3 years ago when Kyle Larson had a good chance, but then had to all go down in flames in 2017 in that round of 12.
But Larson was also in the round of 8 in 2019. Remember, he won in the round of 12 at Dover to get to the round of 8 last year, but he didn't make it to the round of 4 because he was quite inconsistent in that round of 8.
Right. But in terms of Chevy, they have upped their game in 2020 and expect the next 5 to 10 years to be bright, especially with Hendrick Motorsports and knowing where their path is heading towards the long-term future.
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney finished 2nd in the race. Now, he was a contender to win. He was on the championship run, but Ryan Blaney led 36 laps. Blaney started 10th, one spot in front of Team Penske teammate Joey Logano. Logano finished 3rd after leading 19 laps, and he started 7th. Now, Logano already locked into the championship 4 at Phoenix with his win at Kansas. Brad Keselowski got in by just 1 point. 1 point. Keselowski drew pole, but he only led 3 laps, and leading 3 laps at Martinsville is like leading no laps at all.
For me, I literally picked Keselowski to win because I thought he had speed from like a couple previous years, like the 2019 spring race. He had that speed, but I thought he was going to win because I picked him in the Final Four and I thought he was going to win Martinsville. But Brad got a good run, which people like. There's always these people that like there's people out there that don't talk about Brad Keselowski. Like nobody talks about how good Brad Keselowski is, which I'm like, Brad is showing his potential and nobody's talking about anything that Brad does that's like winning. Nobody talks about it, which is so weird that nobody wants to talk about Brad Keselowski's wins.
Right. Well, he definitely completed a decent afternoon for Team Penske. Second, third, and fourth. Keselowski and Logano will share half of the championship forward.
Yep.
Next week at Phoenix, both drivers are defending champions from years past. Joey Logano from 2018, Brad Keselowski from 2012. Finishing fifth, Kurt Busch. Now, Kurt Busch actually entered the race in a must-win situation, unlike the other drivers in this event that were part of the round of 8. Kurt Busch led 23 laps. He started fifth. He had a very good car, but I feel like the race needed more cautions to go in Kurt's favor here, and that was not the case, especially in stage 3, the final stage before the last caution came out.
Yeah.
Alex Bowman fell short, but Bowman was up there doing very well. He led a lap and started third, finished sixth. They've upped their performance on these short tracks, which is a good sign for the future of that team.
Yeah, hopefully next year because if people don't know about Alex Bowman's 88 team is becoming the 48, and the 48's becoming the 5. So Cliff Daniels will be with the 5. Greg Eis on the 48, so maybe they'll have that speed again for 2021 with the 48 car. We'll see.
Right. All right. Eric Almirola and Clint Bowyer, 7th and 8th. They tangled early in the race, but managed to bring the cars back to the top 10. Clint Bowyer, this track was his second to last win in the Cup Series in 2018. Bowyer, very, very well for Clint. He managed to keep that car up in the top 10. Kyle Busch led 5 laps. Busch won last week at Texas and continues his 16 years of winning at least once in the Cup Series. Busch started and finished in the 9th spot. And Matt DiBenedetto completed the top 10. Matt DiBenedetto started 12th and finished 2 spots better.
Yeah, which is good for that 21 team with momentum. They want momentum for Phoenix, and then they'll try to carry that into the 2021. Oh, geez, I just realized that. Oh my gosh, I keep realizing because there's not many pole winners in the Clash this year or next year. But remember, playoff drivers are in the Clash with DiBenedetto, so all the playoff drivers are guaranteed.
Playoff drivers, former winners of the race.
Who else? Was there 500
Daytona 500 pole winners.
Yeah.
Daytona 500
We'll see, because we're still we're only November 2nd. The Clash is only on February 9th, so we have a long. That Clash will be on the road course, which that's going to make an interesting race. The Clash at the road course in 2021.
Congratulations on the win at the Clash, Chase Elliott. Oh, good, he's been on the road.
Well, I remember just Eric Jones in the Oval Clash when he had a destroyed race car and won.
All right. Time to discuss the drivers outside the top 10, starting with Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin makes it into the next round. Hamlin won stage 1, led 42 laps, started 4th. Now, there was some controversy, as Justin mentioned, about team orders from Joe Gibbs Racing, where Eric Jones was ordered by Joe Gibbs Racing to stay behind the 11 and help him. Now, Eric Jones is already planning to depart from the team. That was announced months ago. He'll drive for Richard Petty Motorsports next year.
in the 43.
And Eric Jones is really
Iconic.
scrambling for a future NASCAR.
Because like people like are not understanding. People are saying it's the driver. I'm like, no, Richard Petty's equipment is not before like 2014, 2015. Like when Ambrose and Rolla were there was decent, but it's like Sam Hornish when he came in. There was races he did good, but other races where the car was crashed out. But Brian Scott, on the other hand, most races that's where the car was out of the race.
Yeah, and then obviously they never went to a car team again. Now Bubba Wallace has improved, but Eric Jones could help them continue their improvements.
Yeah.
We'll hold that for another conversation. But Denny Hamlin, who has gone so long in the NASCAR Cup Series without a championship, he's done pretty much everything there is to being a Hall of Fame driver in NASCAR, but win a championship. That is still a zero. And Hamlin, once again, has another shot to fix that statistic. Kevin Harvick, this is what we least expected. We had no idea that it was even possible to be 42 points above the cut line and miss out. Kevin Harvick, eliminated from the playoffs. He won 9 times this year. This really brings up another discussion. We'll hold that for later after we go through the results here. Martin Truex Jr., I picked him to win the race. He had a good car, ran into trouble, led 129 laps, started second, finished 22nd, many laps down. Corey LaJoie finished 25th, led 6 laps. Jimmy Johnson, the 9-time winner at Martinsville, finished 30th in his final start at the track, in his second to last start as a NASCAR full-time driver in that famous 48. And William Byron, his teammate, retired out of the race on lap 439 after a crash. Byron started 13th. Yeah. So there's one more race remaining in the 2020 Cup Series.
Yeah. Which also I wanted to say about William Byron's issue. His brake pedal went to the floor, so basically it wouldn't stop. Which that's the result of that. Like, really sucked for William Byron. He was running top 10, top 15 all day until you don't want your brake pedal to go to the floor at Martinsville. That's one thing you don't want at a short track where you need a lot of brakes.
All right. So the round of 8 is over. Before we talk about the championship, for the 5 drivers that were eliminated, Kevin Harvick,
5,
Alex Bowman, or the 4 drivers eliminated, 5th, Kevin Harvick, 6th, Alex Bowman, and then Martin Truex Jr. and Kurt Busch. Kevin Harvick being eliminated really brought back an old discussion that many fans continue to debate and discuss. And now, I mean, if you saw the polls we had on Twitter, I think it really cleared some cobwebs about the division where fans see each other upon whether or not there should be this kind of system to determine a NASCAR champion. And
like
the poll results, we had 34 polls, and everyone seems to have their different opinion here. But the largest amount of votes is none, 36 races total, points only.
Yeah, like I remember, Joseph, I used to say the chase isn't bad. Remember when I said that like many times, like on Skype? Do you want to know what I had on conversation about the chase? Ian, me and Ian on Facebook, like we're commenting. I remember Ian saw my comment. Somebody said the chase is better than. Somebody was telling me Jimmy Johnson's 7 titles with the chase were more legit than Dale Earnhardt's 7 titles. I'm like, no, you don't make sense. Dale Earnhardt's championship were with regular points. That made more sense than some of Jimmy Johnson's titles, like Jeff Gordon. Without the tie chase, he would have 7. Johnson would only have couple. Harvick would have 4 titles, like 2020, 2016, 2013, and 2010 without the chase. Harvick would add 4 titles. But yeah, it's like
Okay.
the chase. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, finish.
yeah, it's like this playoffs. Like, a lot of people are not fans of it. I'm not too of a fan of it. Like the other format was non-elimination, so the top 12 till 2013 had a shot. Before that, when they had just points throughout the whole season, was good. But this new format, it's proving that desperate moves. Like, remember Jeff Gordon missed the Final Four by Ryan Newman diving and hitting Kyle Larson at Phoenix on the final lap.
Yes.
Yeah, people are so desperate to make moves. That's how this system works.
Here's my take about the playoff system, and this is in the language of motorsports. As much as NASCAR wants to be in the whole stick and ball comparison that we saw during the Brian France era, in the end, what I don't think is right with the playoff system is in the language of motorsport. This is just foreign. It's all foreign. It's confusing. It's hard to understand. I mean, I was a new NASCAR fan about 15 years ago, and it was just a 10-driver chase, and the minor series were completely different. Xfinity Truck Series. It was expected to have active Cup Series stars dominate the field each and every week. Now that, of course, is out the window, and it's no longer acceptable by the fan base or by just the series in general. When I watched, the NASCAR NXT Cup Series, just to be a little nostalgic here.
The
final 10 races of the season, just 10 drivers or 12 drivers at one point, and it was just points. In the end, the best driver of the final 10 races won the NASCAR Cup Series Championship, picked up the big trophy at Homestead in the end. Now, in the language of motorsports, it's still somewhat foolish to have a driver like Kevin Harvick be so good this year. And what do I mean by Kevin Harvick? Harvick is one of the best drivers. He's an absolute Hall of Famer, without a doubt. Almost 60 wins this year. He could have reached that 60-win mark. 9 wins, more than any other season. And Kevin Harvick, 20 top 5s, 26 top 10s, led 1,531 laps. That's almost 8,000 laps of the Cup Series was led without Kevin Harvick. So basically, he led 1/8 of the season. Yeah. His average start and average finish are both 7. Hear me out. This is like Scott McLaughlin or in supercars, or Lewis Hamilton in F1 losing the Drivers' Championship because of a format, to put it nicely.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Me neither.
Congratulations to the drivers who made it into the Final Four. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They played the rules and won game. But they're in a position to win a championship, but
Ian, the only thing that Ian, I bet you's going to say, I only care about the on Racing Reference, under the race you have non-playoff standings. He always looks at that because Brett Moffitt's leading the non-playoff standings in trucks. Cindric's actually leading the non-playoff in Xfinity, and Harvick's leading the non-playoff in the Cup Series right now. But it's just these formats are so... The only season that I could remember in my head that the only chase and non-chase standings that were correct, like non-playoff and playoff, was 2016 Trucks. Sauter 101 it both ways, which is actually a fact. So that's a thing I could agree. But when you have a non-playoff driver who's leading that series not be for a championship, that's the system is just so weird. and kind of annoying.
Right. And I don't want to call it flawed or anything. Joey Logano, Chase Elliott did exactly what they had to do to be in this position to win the championship. Now, Logano won the 2018 championship in the same set of controversy. Kyle Busch won a championship in probably the most controversial moments in 2015. Luckily, made it up for that last year.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to play with numbers, but in the end, there's the final four. Congrats to the drivers. We're going to go one by one with these drivers here in the championship four for 2020. Well, we're going to start it off with Joey Logano. Logano turned 30 years old this year. It's quite surprising Joey Logano is just 30 with all the years of experience he's had in the NASCAR's top level. Logano won the Rookie of the Year in 2009, drove for Joe Gibbs Racing in 2009 and 2012, and Cup had success in the lower levels, but just could not translate that with the bigger, longer distance races in the Cup Series had to offer on Sundays. When he was signed by Penske, a lot of fans criticized the move until just a few years later. He won a Daytona 500, and then a few years later, the 2018 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Logano has 26 career wins from Middletown, Connecticut. He's one of two drivers from Team Penske to be part of the 2020 Final Four, and that's where our next driver on the list is Brad Keselowski. Like Logano, Keselowski is a former champion. Brad Keselowski, however, is much older. He had a longer path to get to Cup compared to Logano.
Yeah.
33 of his 34 Cup Series wins for Penske. His first win was pretty much one of the greatest surprise victories you'll ever see in the 2009 Talladega race. Keselowski won the 2012 championship, and as we mentioned in that in the last 5 minutes, how systems change. Keselowski just seems to have a little more of a hard time making it to this through the rounds in the championship four compared to Logano. But nonetheless, Keselowski is in the position. Keselowski also won the 2010 NASCAR Nationwide Series Championship, which is now called the Xfinity Series, in the last year where Cup Series drivers could contend for the Xfinity Series Championship in the same year. Brad Keselowski also won the Coca-Cola 600 this year. He won the Southern 500 in 2018. I'm going to ask right now, who'll be the better Penske driver on Sunday?
Okay. For me, the better Penske driver, this guy, he's won, he has more Grand Jewel race wins than the other one. He has no Daytona 500s yet. That's yet, but he has Southern 500, a Brickyard 400. For me, I feel like Brad Keselowski. One, he's good at Phoenix. Two, it's like the thing with Brad Keselowski, he has more experience in this championship hunt than Logano. Logano has not been a championship hunt. His first championship hunt was like 2014. Keselowski was there 2011, kind of there. 2012, 2013 he was not there, but 2012, 2014, 2015 he was close. 2016, decent also until the playoffs, like when he had the engine issue. 2017 he was there too. 2018 was there. Keselowski's been always close to a title. After his championship, he's been, except, the 2013 season, which he didn't have a good season. Other than that, Brad has been close for a second title. So I feel like Brad Keselowski's experience is going to help him be better than Joe Logano.
Now, compared to Logano, Brad Keselowski seems to have a harder time getting to the championship four. Logano gets in the championship four much quicker than Brad.
Yeah.
Here's the catch. Joey Logano won last time when he raced at Phoenix. Who also won last year at Phoenix? We're gonna let me just get a sip of water here.
But that's just flash. Oh, jeez.
Now, Denny Hamlin's career has its ups and downs, and to be honest, this is the last check mark in Hamlin's driving career. He already built a race team. That's where his future is headed. But since the very start of his full-time Cup Series career, he was a threat to win a championship. 2006, he did something that his teammate at the time, Tony Stewart, did, finished third in the Drivers' Championship, and pick up 20 top 10s as a rookie, 8 top 5s, 2 wins, lead 418 laps. That's a veteran season. And he wouldn't find that same luck yet until 2010, when it just seemed like everything was going his way, getting 8 wins. And guess what? If Denny Hamlin wins for the 8th time this season, he'll be the one that gets him the championship.
We'll see.
Hamlin's never won more than 8 times in a Cup Series season. And Hamlin's luck was a little rocky until Justin. What's going on?
I'm just thinking about last year. Remember, like, the thing is, he has the same crew chief, Chris Gabehart. He's an aggressive crew chief. Hopefully he doesn't put that big piece of tape which overheats the car. I remember last year when you started seeing water spitting out, I'm like, yeah, that's not too smart. Put this big piece of tape on the grill, which when I saw it, I'm like, okay, that's going to overheat the car, and it did. So basically, this year, hopefully they remember, don't put a big piece of tape to overheat the car.
Well, Denny Hamlin is 39. He'll be 40 about a month from, or actually, no, later this month. He'll be 40.
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin won the 2006 Rookie of the Year, as I mentioned. 44 career wins, 3 Daytona 500s, including the last 2 years, this year and last year, as well as 2016. 2 Southern 500 victories, and Hamlin's only raced at Joe Gibbs Racing in the NASCAR Cup Series level.
Yeah, and always in the number 11. He's never had a different number than 11.
Right.
And also, Hamlin's birthday is on the 18th of November.
Wow. And takes us to one last driver on this list, and that is Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott, who won his way into the championship for Chase Elliott is a 2-time winner of the Snowball Derby, which is a very prestigious short track race in Pensacola, Florida at the Five Flag Speedway. Yeah. Elliott won it in 2011.
Yeah.
And 2015. Chase Elliott won the Winchester 400.
Yeah, that's also
I think we had one this past weekend, didn't we?
No, it was the All-American 400 we had we had that race. But like the Winchester 400 is also a really known short track race.
And yeah, when people see the name Elliott, they associate with Bill Elliott in his 1988 championship. Here's the thing. The catch with Chase is that he has grit. And what do I mean here? Chase Elliott won the 2014 NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship in his first try. And that was a time when the competitors Elliott raced against were seasoned veterans who were just trying to keep a career going. Someone like Elliott Sadler, Regan Smith, Chase Elliott just had a knack for wins, top 5s, top 10s, fast laps. And when Jeff Gordon left, I knew there was going to be no one else than Chase Elliott to replace him. Chase Elliott won the 2016 Rookie of the Year, and it seemed like from the very start that it's only a matter of time till he gets that first win. No one knew it would have to wait until 2018.
Yeah. I remember somebody actually, oh my gosh, I just remembered. Right after it was announced that Chase would drive the 24, remember when Chase Elliott ran those 5 races for Hendrick in the 25? Somebody predicted Chase to win at Martinsville in his first ever start. When I saw that, I'm like, no, he needs experience. Like, in your first Cup start with no experience, you're not going to be winning out of the gate. That's not how it would.
No.
And then somebody predicted him to win the 500 in 2016, which that didn't go too well either when he crashed out.
Chase Elliott is a 2-time pole winner of the Daytona 500. And just looking at his numbers before we got first win at Martinsville in 2018, 10 top 5s, 12 top 5s in his first 2 years. Over 1,000 laps led before that first win. His 10th career win, and half of them are on road courses. That's another thing with Chase Elliott. His road course performance is through the roof, and it seems like when people talk about his road course stats, they just nod and say, yeah, we get that. That's a big deal. When Jeff Gordon was king of the road course in the 90s, it was a bigger deal at that time because road course racing was just twice on the NASCAR Cup Series scheduled in the 90s. And now I think we're going to have like 5 of them next year. We already have
COTA, Road America, Watkins Glen, Indy Road Course,
Sonoma,
that's 5.
They were missing one.
Wait.
If you count the Clash, that's 6.
Yeah, but 5-point races.
Right. That's a lot of road courses. And Chase Elliott has won the last 4 straight road courses. That's 5 total. Now he's won on the short track.
But the thing is Phoenix. That's a tough track to win at.
Right.
Even I know. There's fans saying, I was about to say, there's fans saying, oh, Phoenix is the easiest track. I could win there in my first time. Like, one, Phoenix is hard to win at. It's a tough track. 2, tire wear, which, tires wear out. Like, last time we went there, a lot of tire blowouts. Yeah, like, the thing is, there's still people saying that Phoenix is an easy track. It's not the easiest track. Because going through the corners, you have the dog leg. You also have turn 1 and now the new 3 and 4. That wall, which I've seen people not in real life, but on racing video games, I somehow I hit that wall. I damaged my car, which is still a hard track. Like, we've seen this track. Like, if you go too high, if you get loose in a corner, you're probably gonna hit the wall. That's how tough the track is.
And here's the thing, Chase Elliott, if he wins 5 times at a road course, that means he's great on gear shifting, brakes, brake pressure. Martinsville is essentially a double hairpin. If you really think about it, that's why AJ Allmendinger had 2 or 3 runner-up finishes in the Cup Series at the track. It's because of that kind of dynamic we saw yesterday. But if there's something about Chase Elliott, and I know Hendrick Motorsports from 2016 onward, he could be the man of this team, of this organization. Jeff Gordon is Jeff Gordon. Jimmy Johnson is Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Terry Labonte, Jeff Bodine, they're their own drivers here.
Yeah.
Tim Richmond. But in the end, Chase Elliott is Chase Elliott.
Yeah. So Chase is not going to be a driver. He's himself. He's like, people are saying, oh, he's going to win 90. He's going to win more than Jeff Gordon. I'm like, I don't know he'll get to 93. That is, if you're Lewis Hamilton, you can, but Chase Elliott, 93 wins is a lot to get to. Jeff Gordon, 1998 had 13 wins in a season. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, with Chase Elliott's not going to get a 13-win season.
No, you can't have high expectations for drivers, but you can certainly paint a picture for where they're headed towards the near future, especially now knowing who the fourth driver is for Hendrick Motorsports, none other than Kyle Larson. They're a super team.
Yeah, and Kyle Larson's. Yeah, it's not just going to always
revolver of NASCAR.
Yeah, it's not just going to be Chase saying. And now people are like, "Oh, Chase will still be the better driver." I'm like, "Oh, Larson is kind of tough to beat sometimes." It's not going to be
better.
Yeah, now you have Alex Bowman in the other car also. Hendrick, their team is going to be stronger. Like Jimmy Johnson, people said he was not the best. I'm like, well, people don't like it when Jimmy Johnson's struggling. I kept saying, well, Dale Jr. struggled in 2017 in his final season.
Right.
Which, yep.
In the end, there's just numbers and stats and the drivers who achieve these accomplishments. They deserve it in the end. Justin, what flavor are those chips? I'm getting curious.
Barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Time to talk Xfinity now. The NASCAR Xfinity Series made their first trip in 14 years to Martinsville Speedway. Since 2006, the NASCAR Xfinity Series has omitted this circuit for quite the longest time, and now they're back 14 years later. And in the end, home track. I guess that's the way to call it. If you're Harrison Burton, not in the championship hunt, but what a performance. H. Burton, his second win in a row, his fourth this season. Harrison Burton led 81 laps at his Virginia home and started 10th.
Yeah, and if people don't know, Harrison is now the youngest winner at Martinsville Speedway. Before it was Jeff Byrne, age 22. This time it's Harrison Byrne, age 20. He's the youngest winner at Martinsville, which is really good. He had a good car. Like, I remember just last year, he almost won the truck race until he got turned by Ross Chastain, but this year, he brought that experience with him, and it paid off.
Absolutely. Justin Allgaier finished second in the race. He started 6th. Allgaier is into the next round.
Yep.
Finishing 3rd, Noah Gragson, the highest driver to get eliminated from the playoffs. He fought hard to stay in the hunt. Yeah. Gragson, on stage one, led 23 laps, started 2nd, and had to settle for 3rd. And I think he'll be a big-time contender for the championship next year, especially knowing where Chase Briscoe's headed next season.
But it's still going to be tough. You still have Cindric to compete. Justin Allgaier's been announced back at Junior Motorsports, so yeah, that's still going to be tough for them. And if Harrison Byrne returns, hopefully he does for next year, Justin Haley's returning. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of contenders next year. With Chase Briscoe moving up, it's going to be closer than this year when Chase Briscoe and Cindric, the 2-4, just pulled away. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just seemed to just be great for the Burtons. Because not only did Harrison Burton finish first, Jeff Burton finished 4th. The son of Ward Burton. So Harrison Burton, son of Jeff Burton, took the win, and Harrison's cousin, Jeff Burton, driving for Junior Motorsports. A 2nd, 3rd, and 4th effort for Junior Motorsports on a bad day. Jeff Burton started 8th. Ross Chastain. Now, Ross had a good car. Won stage 2, led 31 laps, started 4th, but will not be in the championship 4. That was a prediction that I made wrong. Chastain is out.
Yeah, for me, I didn't put Chastain in the final 4 because of consistency. I felt like Haley had more consistency in this round. Like, even before that, Haley was more consistent every weekend. Ross was not too much consistent. So that's, yeah.
All right. His teammate had much better luck, though. Finishing 6th was Riley Herbst. Herbst started 24th. Chase Briscoe started 5th, finished 7th. Now, he raced with a heavy heart. He did not learn this week. Chase and his wife, Marissa Briscoe, announced a miscarriage. It happened earlier this year in the spring when Chase had that very emotional victory at Darlington.
Yeah.
Briscoe already announced to drive in Cup next year. Michael Annett finished in the 8th spot. Brandon Jones, 9th. Now, Jones is out of the championship.
Yeah.
No Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas this year. And Austin Cindric will move on to the championship 4 after leading 42 laps from the pole.
Yeah.
All right, here's some other drivers outside the top 10. Ryan Sieg is the last driver to be eliminated from the playoffs. He finished 11th after starting 9th. Justin Haley makes it in. Those stage points were very valuable for Haley.
Yeah.
All right, finishing 14th, J.J. Yeley. Well done for the Whitworth Racing driver, the veteran who's been in the sport for such a long time. In fact, he was in the last race that the in Martinsville. He has in the Busch Series. Yeley lapped 5 laps and started at 39.
But
so this wasn't a magical performance.
But you know what? He led 4 on those under yellow. He led 1 lap under green flag and held on for the lead. And then the next caution came out. He was 4th when the next caution came out. Like, people say Yaley's bad. I'm like, I know he was bad at Gibbs, but sometimes I see him just randomly up front for small teams, which is really a good performance for that Rick Ware team, which they're going to be full-time next year. With an unknown driver, that 17 will go full-time Xfinity Racing in 2021.
Very impressive performance for Yaley. I mean, he's a serviceable veteran. That's for sure. And lastly, AJ Allmendinger ran into trouble when he had a flat tire after leading 68 laps. Allmendinger started 36th, and he had to finish 26 laps down. That will set the stage for Phoenix. Phoenix 200. It's the last race of the Xfinity Series Championship for 2020.
Yeah.
Before we discuss the final 4, drivers who are out: Noah Gragson, Ross Chastain, Brandon Jones, and Ryan Sieg.
Yep.
Fell shy of the championship 4 for 2020.
Yeah.
Chase Briscoe. It's the first seed now.
Yeah.
Chase Briscoe is only 25 with all of his accomplishments. He won the 2016 ARCA Championship, 11 career wins in the Xfinity Series. I forgot to mention Chase Briscoe won twice in the truck level, including the very famous race at Eldora, driving for Thor Sport.
And also,
he won the very last race for Brad Keselowski.
Homestead. I remember that. That was emotional. Yep, the final time that Brad Keselowski Racing went in their final race, that Briscoe got him a win, which was really good. And then that's when Briscoe was announced to run part-time for Stuart Haas Biaggi's 98 and the 60 car, which Briscoe did decent, the 98 especially. But then I'm glad that Briscoe and Stuart Haas picked him up in 2019 to be Custer's teammate. 2020 full-time. Briscoe has accomplished a lot in a couple of years. He's accomplished a lot at his age.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe dominated the ARCA Championship in 2016.
Oh, yeah.
He also races part-time in sports cars. He's a Ford factory driver. I know people who suggest Chase Briscoe could be in Formula One with the way he drives, especially in that one race, that the Roval in the rain.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ford, the other Ford factory driver, only Team Penske entry, is Austin Cindric. He's the son of Tim Cindric, the director for Team Penske.
Yep.
Austin Cindric is a versatile driver, to say the least. He could drive pretty much anything. Cindric won bronze at the 2014 DRC Lights in the Summer X Games at Austin, Texas. which was at Circuit of the Americas. Cindric is like I said, just a versatile driver. He's driven pretty much anything from prototypes to Indy 2000s to GT3s. Austin Cindric raced the Bathurst 12 Hours for the first time at the age of 16.
Yep.
But in his time in the trucks, he finished third in the 2017 championship, driving for Brad Keselowski.
Oh, yeah.
Cindric has 7 career Xfinity Series wins, 5 of which were in 2020. And what we know now for his Cup Series feature is that it seems like he'll be driving for Wood Brothers in 2022, not without a part-time effort for Team Penske next year.
Yeah, he'll drive the 21 in 2022, which people are like, they're screwing Matt DiMatteo. I'm like, well, Matt DiMatteo could find another ride at the end of 2021. Like Matt DiMatteo, there's different drivers. I remember people said when there was only 2 Ford teams, they're like, the Chevys and Toyotas, there's more of them. It's just gonna be Chevy and Toyotas in the Final Four.
I mean,
2 Fords, but in the championship, 2 Fords and 2 Chevys. Yeah, so Penske and Stewart-Haas are really doing good. Even they're the only Ford teams, full-time Ford teams, they're still pulling off wins, and they're in the championship hunt.
All right, yeah. And so there are 2 Fords and then 2 Chevrolets in the championship. We just discussed the Ford drivers. Chase Briscoe, age 25 from Indiana. Austin Cindric, age 22 from Ohio. And we're going to start with Justin Haley. Now, Justin Haley has a very interesting career. Without a doubt, Justin Haley can say something very few drivers at his level can say. That they won a Cup Series race in their in the third start.
Oh, yeah. Wait. I'm trying to think. Did Justin Haley win that? I think he won that Cup race before he won an Xfinity race.
That is true. Many of his fans disagree and say that he won his first Xfinity race before that. If you remember the 2018 July race in Daytona, he was thrown out of victory lane for passing below that double yellow line.
And Ian was mad. Ian was mad. No. I remember Ian was mad because Sadler was the guy next to Larson, and Sadler lost to Larson. I remember that finish.
So Justin Haley's career, let's put it in words. He won the 2016 East Series Championship.
Yeah.
And he won the 2019 Daytona 400 race out of strange circumstances, driving for Spire of all teams.
Yeah.
He's the nephew of Todd Braun, who used to own Braun Racing, a decent team in the lower levels, like the Xfinity Series.
He actually ran. I remember 2016. He ran his first truck start for Braun in the 32 truck in 2016. And back then, I remember his name because it was not Justin Haley back then. It was J.J. Haley. That's his actual name. But remember, 2017, between 2016 and 2017, he went to get it changed to Justin Haley because to not get confused with J.J. Yaley. It actually sounds similar. It actually does. Haley Yaley. It sounds kind of similar. So that's why his name change was to Justin Haley. At first, I remember looking at J.J. Haley, Justin Haley. I'm like, they're the same person. He just had to change his name because to not confuse with J.J. Yaley.
Right.
Yeah.
So Justin Haley has 3 Xfinity Series wins, all of which come at the big plate tracks. Talladega twice and Daytona this year.
Oh, yeah, I just remembered that. Oh, my gosh, yeah.
And Justin Haley is still 21 years old with all those accomplishments. He's only 21.
Yeah.
And a little fun fact, Justin Haley became the first NASCAR driver to win in the Cup Series that is younger than me.
Oh, yeah, he's born 99, so yeah, he's a... Yeah. Yeah,
he wasn't the youngest driver to win the Cup Series. That actually still holds Joey Logano in 2009 when he was 19.
Yeah.
But the
19
has a very lengthy career racing stock cars from all sorts of levels. Justin Allgaier from Illinois would run just the ARCA race with his family-owned team on the dirt tracks in 2002 as a driver who was 16 years of age at that time. Justin Allgaier raced in the ARCA series for the first time, and eventually became a champion in 2008, driving for his family team at the age of 22. Before moving to the if you want to know how that happened,
I just remember that. I remember because I just remembered of what happened years after because of I watched a video about Scott Speed. It was about Scott Speed's F1 career, and then Scott Speed's that Stenhouse dumped Scott Speed, and then Scott Speed later on dumped Stenhouse. Yeah, and the person explained that's why nobody likes Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I'm like, interesting.
And in the end, it was Justin Allgaier who the two championship contenders took each other on the final race of Toledo, but it was Justin Allgaier who won the title, and that's when he caught the eye of the captain Roger Penske and said, "We need someone in the Cup Series." And remember, at the time, Sam Hornish Jr., who moved from IndyCar, and David Stremme were the drivers that were not Kurt Busch, even though still finding his stride to the team. So they were looking for drivers, and that's when Justin Allgaier became the NASCAR Nationwide Series Rookie of the Year in 2009. But his first career win would come in 2010, his only win for Team Penske, when Allgaier won at Bristol and finished 4th in the championship. And we didn't know at the time, but he would become a favorite every season in Xfinity. 2011, close to winning the championship, finished 3rd. 2012, 6th. 2013, before moving to Cup and returning, he finished 5th at points. Returned after driving for Turner Motorsports. He moved to Junior Motorsports, 3rd and a 3rd his first 2 seasons with the team. That's where he's been ever since. His 7th to 2018, as well as the regular season championship. 14 career wins in total for Xfinity and Justin Allgaier, including 3 wins this year. Justin Allgaier finished 4th in points last year. He also won the Phoenix race, so take that into consideration.
We'll just see. Because there's some races he's consistent, some of the races he's just... the car's not handling for him. And also, I remember... also, about, Justin Allgaier. He's been driving for Penske, but then he moved to Turner Scott. But then he moved up to H. Scott and Cup, which... people thought he was going to be good, but H. Scott was not the best Cup team. Just, there's stuff that people never remember about rookie seasons, about Xfinity drivers in Cup. I just remember many times in 2014, Justin Allgaier, some race that I've known, Justin Allgaier's finished 18th so many times. A couple different tracks, I just see Justin Allgaier 18th. I'm like, what is it with Allgaier finishing 18th? What's interesting, him finishing 18th in a lot of races in 2014.
So there you have it. We're going to look at each of the final 4 drivers for Cup, Xfinity, and Trucks at their performance here at Phoenix. We proceed in this podcast. Now, the NASCAR Truck Series.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Christian, I guess stops 250.
Yes, the Truck Series at Martinsville.
Oh, jeez.
He won in chaos.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the fact that we were under caution for like almost the entire half of the race in distance, if you think about how many laps he spent under caution.
Well, do I know how many was the green flag run at the end? 5 laps. Crafton said everybody was racing like clowns out there. 5 laps under green, then we had another caution, then 5 laps under green, then another caution would happen. Like that, the end of the race, like I'm like the Xfinity Series that hasn't ran at Martinsville, I thought that was gonna be more chaotic. No, the truck race ends up being chaotic.
Right. Okay, so let's break it down. It's the final race of the round of 8. The championship 4 was set. Grant Enfinger won his way into the final 4 after leading 49 laps and starting in the 8th spot. Enfinger picked up his 6th career win, and he had to fight off his teammate Ben Rhodes, who led 1 lap, and Ben Rhodes was the highest driver to be eliminated from the playoffs. Rhodes started 7th, but he fell just shy of his curb records, to his curb records his ThorSport counterpart that has the curb records truck. Yeah. Zane Smith, young rookie driver Zane Smith, makes it into the championship 4.
Yep.
At the age of 21, Zane Smith makes up 3 drivers in the GMS Racing pack that made the final 4.
Yep.
4th place, Christian Eckes started 14th.
Oh, jeez.
Fell shy from making history, becoming the 2nd driver to win 4 championships in the Truck Series. That will have to wait another year. Crafton led 6 laps. Stuart Friesen won stage 2, led 5 laps, finished 6th. How about Danny Bone for On Point Motorsports? Best finish of 7th in the Truck Series. 1 spot better than 8th. That happened at this very race last year.
Yep.
Sheldon Creed is into the championship 4. Sheldon Creed won stage 1, led 65 laps from the pole. Austin Wayne picks up his 2nd top 10 of 2020, and Derek Kraus rounded out the top 10. All right. Outside the top 10, Tyler Ingram is the only full-time truck for GMS Racing not to be in the championship 4, but he definitely put up a good fight. He started 6th. Carson Hosvar. How about Carson Hosvar for Nice Motorsports?
He tried.
For next year. 5 laps led, despite running into a few cautions there, but he managed to get 13th.
Christian Eckes.
Brandon Jones finished 17th, and Jones needed a good run. Unfortunately, the 51 truck will no longer be part of the
Owners Championship.
The Owners Championship.
I don't know who spun him out. I just remember at the final lap, I'm like, oh, Brandon Jones got dumped on the backstretch. Interesting.
Brandon Jones finished 3 spots ahead of his teammate Rafael Assard, who led 10 laps and finished 20th. Johnny Sauter. How many times does Johnny Sauter have to be close to winning a race in 2020? 39 laps led.
Oh, my
Sauter finished 23rd. Brett Moffitt retired, finishing 28th after starting 4th. He's into the championship 4. And then the toughest break of them all was Austin Hill. Austin Hill had an engine failure and finished not be part of the championship for the 2nd time in a row. Martinsville was the preventer from Austin Hill making the championship 4. Justin, I just hear you grunting every 5 seconds every time I mention these drivers.
Yeah, it's like the thing with Austin Hill. He said Martinsville's his worst track. Yeah, Martinsville's not this good track. And also I remember when Austin Hill, end of stage 2, Joseph, do you want to know what you said? I remember you said, Austin Hill, get the points. And then I told you, he's not on the lead lap. You're like, you saw that he was 3 laps down because you thought he was on the lead lap near the top 10. I'm like, no, he's not on the lead lap. Then he was 3 laps down before the engine failure. He didn't have a handling truck. His truck was loose, tight, no drive off. He was battling Parker Klitterman at one point for the free pass. And then the engine issues. It didn't help at all for Austin Hill.
All right. So before we talk about the championship 4 here, the drivers who missed out: Mark Crafton, Austin Hill, Ben Rhodes, and Tyler Ankrum, 5th through 8th. All right, we'll start off with Zane Smith. Zane Smith is only 21 years old. He is the first of 3 drivers from GMS Racing and Chevrolet to make the Final 4. Zane Smith was the ARCA Rookie of the Year in 2018, as well as the Truck Series Rookie of the Year. He already clinched it by making the championship 4. 2 career wins for Zane Smith all this season, and he's really putting up numbers like a veteran.
Yeah.
His teammates from California, like Zane Smith, is Christian.
I
mean, Sheldon Creed.
I was supposed to say, I'm like,
I don't know why I had Christian Fittipaldi.
What? I thought you were going to say
Creed.
Eckes. Christian Eckes would have made sense, but Fittipaldi, I'm like, what? He's not in NASCAR. It's been too long since yet.
We're talking about the showstopper here, Sheldon Creed.
Yes, that makes sense.
Creed is only 23 years old.
Yep.
And has the most wins in Stadium Super Trucks.
Yep.
6 wins, more than any other driver. He pretty much ran out of accomplishments to make, and
yep.
In the end, he's in the NASCAR Truck Series. Sheldon Creed from California won the 2018 ARCA Championship.
Oh yeah.
Right off the bat.
Oh yeah, that race where Kevin Hinkle doored him, and he still won the race with that damage that Kevin Hinkle caused. I still remember that race with Kevin Hinkle in that 68 car that hit him. And even with the damage, Creed just like, yep, I'm going to win the race.
All right. And back to Creed. Sheldon Creed won the 2015 X Games gold medal for truck racing, off-road truck racing. And he has 4 wins in the Truck Series, 4 in his career, all of them happening in 2020. He could be a lock this year. But there's another driver for GMS Racing that has a lot of experience in stock cars, much more than Sheldon Creed has, racing off-road, and that is Brett Moffitt. Brett Moffitt has an adventurous NASCAR Cup Series, or NASCAR career in general, just racing stock cars. Brett Moffitt, amongst any other critic out there who's been watching NASCAR for the last 10 years, agree when saying something down the lines like, Brett Moffitt deserves a Cup Series ride. He should be in NASCAR's top level by this point. And why is that? Brett Moffitt won the Truck Series Championship driving for Shiggy Hattori, not the best team at the time, in 2018. He's finished 3rd last year. You put him in a full-time ride, chances are he's going to win the race. He won for Red Horse Racing. I think it was their last ever win in trucks.
Yeah, it was the last one. Yep, that was
white sponsorless truck.
Well, no, in 2017 they were in the white truck. Austin Hill, Brett Moffitt ran the black number 11. I remember that race. And then in 2017, both Peters and Brett Moffitt drove in white trucks, the 7 and the 17, and then they announced they closed the shop. Peters just ran for different truck teams. Moffitt ran for BK Racing. Really not the best team out there.
Moffitt won the 2015 NASCAR Cup Series Rookie of the Year. His only top 10 was with Michael Waltrip Racing in Atlanta that same season. Brett Moffitt in the East Series won 10 times in his career from 2009 to 2015. From that time, he ranked third or second in the championship, but he never won a championship. The closest he was, I think it was 2012 when Tyler Reddick tangled with Moffitt, and then Kyle Larson. Corey LaJoie. Was it LaJoie or Larson?
I think
it was Larson. LaJoie. Oh, was it? I think it was LaJoie.
It was. I'm so confused also of who it was.
No, I think it was Kyle Larson.
Okay. Yeah. But
Brett Moffitt has a lot of stats that could translate into a top ride. One day that might happen, but for now he's the regular in the Truck Series. Moffitt has 12 career wins, just one win this season.
Yeah.
And I have him as my pick. But there's one more driver who had somewhat of a similar path to the Truck Series like Brett Moffitt has, and that is Grant Enfinger.
Yep.
Grant Enfinger won the 2015 ARCA Championship. He also could have been in the Cup car for many years by now.
Yeah, that's true.
Enfinger has 4 wins this season, 6 wins in his career. After 8 years of racing since 2010, and since 2016, Grant Enfinger has raced full-time in the Truck Series, where he's found pretty much home in NASCAR's top level.
Wait, what year did
NASCAR's third highest level.
Wait, what were you saying about Enfinger's fingers started racing? Enfinger actually... Oh, I thought you were saying that he started racing full-time in 2018, 2017.
Right.
He replaced...
He was way past a rookie.
Yeah, he finished 11th in 2017. He finished 5th in 2018 in the points. He finished 7th last year. But this year he's actually doing decent this year. But he actually tried to make his first Cup start, Homestead 2011 for Mike Seneca, Seneca Motorsports number 93 car, but DNQ'd at Homestead.
There was rumors he was supposed to race full-time in 2012, but that panned out. It didn't work.
Yeah, his first truck start 2010 for Team Gill Racing. Then he DNQ'd for FDNY Racing. He's driven different teams. He drove for Brad Keselowski in a one race at Vegas 2012 after Parker Kligerman got kicked out of his truck ride.
All right, Justin, we're not going to do a whole pile here.
No, I'm just saying that's how Enfinger got noticed by bigger teams. That's what I wanted to say.
All right. We'll make our predictions later on when we preview the races that are coming this weekend. Time for F1.
Yep.
Formula One, the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix at Imola. The first time in 14 years since they raced at Imola. It's the 13th round of a 17-race World Championship. And in the end, it was Lewis Hamilton doing what he does best, winning.
Yep.
Hamilton, at the fastest lap, he led for 45 laps in the race, from lap 19 all the way to the end, passing his teammate Valtteri Bottas. It's the 93rd career win for Hamilton as he extends his all-time record. 162nd career podium, his 9th win of 2020. Lewis Hamilton is really closing in to making that 11 win mark. He can reach that. Still, there's plenty of time left to do that. There's 4 races remaining. Hamilton has never won more than 11 races in a single world championship, but this could be his year.
Yep.
Valtteri Bottas finished second, led 18 laps. Bottas picked up his 15th career pole, his 55th career podium, and with this double points finish, Mercedes AMG F1 has clinched their 7th consecutive World Constructors Championship. Since the turbo hybrid era began in 2014, Mercedes and F1 have gone undefeated in the Constructors Championship. Now, they've been challenged in the World Drivers' Championship, but all of the championships in the drivers' category have been from Mercedes, 6 of which from Lewis Hamilton. But in the end, the Silver Arrows do what they did best. Third place, Daniel Ricciardo. His 31st career podium. Ricciardo started 5th. That was Ricciardo's 2nd time on the podium this year, and with Renault. 4th place, how about Danny Kvyat? Best finish of 2020. Kvyat started in 8th. Charles Leclerc finished 5th. Sergio Perez 6th. Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris 7th and 8th. Double points finish for McLaren. And how about this? 9th and 10th for Alfa Romeo Racing Ferrari. Kimi Räikkönen and Antonio Giovinazzi, 9th and 10th. They get points. Kimi Räikkönen, the most experienced driver in the history of Formula One, picked up 2 points in the World Drivers' Championship, and I'm excited. He earned driver of the day, didn't he?
I don't know.
All right. Outside the points finishers for the 3rd time in his career, Nicholas Latifi for Williams finished 11th. Sebastian Vettel does not get a points finish yesterday. He finished 12th. Lance Stroll, 13th. Romain Grosjean, 14th. Alex Albon was the last car to finish the race. And the retirements begin with George Russell. George Russell started 13th. He crashed under a safety car procedure on lap 51. Just a freak accident. You hardly ever see things like that happen. Unfortunate.
He tried to warm up the tires. I remember had listened to his radio. I saw him turn to warm up the tires, but he turned the wheel a little bit too hard. That's how the car spun into the wall. So you don't want to be too hard on the steering wheel under a safety car. So now we know. If ever, I don't think we'll ever be F1 drivers because we're not racing right now. Don't weave the car back and forth too hard, or that's gonna happen.
And especially in Moncton, don't do that there. You'll slide.
No. Oh yeah, with snow and ice. Yeah, I don't want to do that.
All right. 16th was Verstappen, who had a tire puncture.
Yeah.
Max beaching the car in the gravel.
Yeah.
Verstappen was closing in on a 2nd place run, but on lap 50, that all came to a sudden end. The third retirement was Kevin Magnussen. Magnussen pulled out of the race on lap 47. Esteban Ocon on lap 27 crashed out.
Crash. It was clutch.
Clutch. Yeah, had a broken clutch. And then Pierre Gasly had the water fluid, resulting in his retirement on lap 8 for the AlphaTauri driver.
Yeah.
So, as you said, there is 2 weeks off. I think there's 1 week off in F1.
There's 1 week between Turkey but there's a week off after Turkey because Turkey's on the 15th Bahrain's on the 29th for race 1.
Oh, yes, you are right. So it's the second to last off week before their stop to Istanbul, which is on the 15th of November for the Turkish Grand Prix. The first time since 2011 that the Turkish Grand Prix will be held.
The early time. It's not like the current times like that we see like recently we've seen because the race will be at 5:10 a.m. Eastern for Turkey, early morning race. It's not like Japan or China when it's at like 2 in the morning.
Right.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's gonna be at 5 a.m. Eastern.
So the World Drivers' Championship, with just 4 races to go, Lewis Hamilton is, of course, on top of the charts. He's got 282 World Drivers' Championship points. Valtteri Bottas definitely pulled farther ahead of Max Verstappen. Verstappen retired, 137 points. Verstappen has 162 points in third in the World Drivers' Championship. Now, this is where things start to get interesting in the World Drivers' Championship here. Fourth place by 10 points ahead of Leclerc is Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo, 95 points. In fifth is Charles Leclerc, 85 points. But then 3 points behind Leclerc is Sergio Perez. Checo is just 3 points behind Leclerc with 82 points. In seventh, Lando Norris. Lando Norris is with 69 points, just 4 points ahead of his teammate Carlos Sainz with 65 points, 8th in the World Constructors Championship. 9th is Alex Albon, just 1 point ahead of Pierre Gasly, who is 10th. The World Constructors Championship is even more competitive after yesterday. Mercedes, we already know they clinched the WCC. 7th in a row, 479 points. They're in the good. Red Bull Racing Honda, no points at all. But in third, the Renault team, factory Renault, in third, 135 points, right? 1 point above McLaren Renault. McLaren is just 1 point behind Renault. And then they're tied with Racing Point, BWT, Mercedes. 3 teams, 3 constructors are 1 point apart from third in the World Constructors Championship. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Ferrari is 6th with 103 points. AlphaTauri, 89 points in 7th. In 8th, Alfa Romeo Racing, very impressive for them. Double points yesterday, the first time they had double points this season. They're still 8th with 8 points. I mean, I don't know if they could reach AlphaTauri at this point in the World Championship. 9th place is Haas Ferrari. They only finished in a points-paying position twice this year. And 10th is Williams Mercedes. Still just close, but no cigar to getting a point in 2020.
Which also I wanted to say about the points for F1. Max is officially out of the point race because he's too many points behind at this point. 162 points is a lot. So it's only now the top 2 are in the hunt. So Red Bull won't get another driver's title. And people are like, so Red Bull won't be there competing.
All right. Okay, let's move on to endurance racing sports cars. The final race of the 2020 European Le Mans Series Championship was at the 4 hours of Portimao for the fifth and final race of the championship. United Autosports already clinched the title in LMP2 entering the race, but the United Autosport team failed to go undefeated, Justin.
Yep. Yeah, they were. That 22 car did not qualify well, which didn't help them at all. The 32 qualified on the pole, but they messed up, so they gave the win to the 26 G Drive Racing entry.
Yep. Just going to try to find those results.
It's on their website. Like, there's ELMS, and then there's a thing that says results. Yeah, I know. Trying to remember. I know Nick DeVries was one of the drivers.
Yes. Nick DeVries, Romy Rusinov, Mikkel Jensen.
Yeah,
drivers.
Yeah, I remember. I just realized anytime I don't pick somebody, I pick the 26 car so many times they don't win. I pick the 32, they win. It's like every time I pick the 26, they don't win. Anytime I don't pick them, they win. It's like, it's my luck. Picking people that I don't usually pick win. I pick the person that wins, they don't win.
All right, so the LMP2 championship was already decided, but G-Drive Racing took the win. What was the rest of the finishing results? I know IDEC Sport finished second. Justin might pull up the results here.
Yeah.
Third place, Cool Racing, number 37, finished third. Fourth was Pani Racing, the team owned by Olivier Pani, a former F1 driver, who was actually the last French driver to win in F1 before Pierre Gasly did this year. Fifth place, United Autosport.
What? For me, I have G Drive winning. Second was the Duquesne team, number 30. The Duquesne Engineering 30 got second.
Oh, yes.
The 22 got third. The 32 got fourth, and the fifth place was the 31.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad there. High Class Racing finished sixth, and Graf finished seventh. Allgaier Pro Racing 8th. Cool Racing 9th, and IDEC Sport 10th. The 28 car, I don't know why I wrote them down for a second.
I don't know. Maybe you were tired, I don't know. Yeah, there's the top 13 were LMP2s. Richard Mill Racing Team 11. Allgaier Pro Racing was 12. BHK Motorsport was 13th. But then the first LMP3 was 14th overall, which was the number 2 United Autosports entry with drivers Wayne Boyd, Tom Gamble, and Robert Weldon over the Real Team Racing. Okay, and 15th overall was the number 8 Real Team Racing by. I gotta search up who it was because it's a driver that's not ran all the races. I'm sorry, I have to search up who the driver is for that 8 car. The driver of the 8 you had, in the 8 car you've had Okay.
Oh yes, and LMP3
sorry,
it was United Auto Sports that did get the win.
who was this driver? I don't know. Jay Gerby. That's all I know. I don't know his first name.
Jake Gamble, I think
No,
that's it.
no, it's Gerby. No, it's Gerby. His last name. Jay Gerby.
Oh yes, it was part of that car. Real Team Racing finished second.
Yeah.
And either the drivers had a Ligier JSP 320 or a Ducati M30 DO8 Nissan because it's LMP3 specs. So if you're a fan of the IMSA WeatherTech Championship, get used to those names, those cars, those teams. They will be part of the WeatherTech Championship next year.
I figured out the name is Julian Gerby and David Drew. They were in the number 8. Then it was the 13 inter-Europol competition entry with Martin Hipp and David Lonardi.
Yes.
Then the number 3 United Autosports entry of Duncan Tappy, Andrew Bentley, and James Maguire. Nielsen Racing of Rob Hodes, Garrett Grist, Charles Cruz. 19th overall, the 11 Euro International entry. Then the 9 Graf entry, and then like the last in the then the BHK Motorsport entry, number 16, and then the highest LMGT car was 22nd overall, the number 77 Proton Racing entry of Christian Reed, Michel Beretta, and Alessio Picariello over the Kessel Racing number 74.
And that was for the championship.
Yep.
And how close was it? A tie. We'll discuss that later when we get involved with the final standings here. Kessel Racing finished second. Probably one of the most heartbreaking second places any team could have. Spirit of Race.
No. Iron Lynx, number 60.
Iron Lynx, number 60, finished
third.
Fourth behind the Spirit of Race. Ferrari.
No, Spirit of Race finished 6th in class. They finished behind the 93. It's the 77, 74, 60 car got 3rd in class. Then it's the 93 Proton competition. Then it's Spirit of Race in the 55 of Duncan Cameron, Matt Griffin, and Aaron Scott got 5th in class, 6th in class. The 83 Iron Lynx entry, the team car to 60, was 27th overall. The JMW Motorsports entry number 66 was 29th overall. Then the AF Corsa 88. The final 2 positions in the race overall was the 86 Gulf Racing entry and the AF Corsa number 51 entry. And the other classes, the 5 Graf finished 28th overall. The 4 DKR Engineering finished 31st. Nielsen Racing number 7 finished 32nd. The LMP2 number 34 of Inter-Europol competition finished 33rd overall. And then the RLR M Sport team number 15 finished 34th overall. Yeah.
Yep. So the final standings in the 2020 European Le Mans Series Championship, as we mentioned for the 1,000th time, United Autosport number 22 wrapped up their season, winning 3 out of the 5 races. They did not have one race go by without a step on the podium. 109 points for the 22 compared to the number 32 United Autosports entry won the season opening race at Castellet, and they won the pole yesterday, but 70 points. So that's a 39-point gap.
Yeah.
G-Drive Racing with their win has a very interesting record. Second, retirement. First, 61 points for them in the final standings. Pawnee Racing, fourth, highest French team in the championship in LMP2 over the other two French teams. So Pawnee Racing, 47 points. Graf, 43 points. And Duquesne team, sixth. The team that finished second, 38 points in the final standings. In LMP3, it was the number 2 United Autosport Ligier JSP 320 that won the championship. They had almost a near perfect podium record, but their one time they didn't finish on the podium was a retirement at Le Casal 240, the third round of the season. That team, that car was driven by Tom Gamble, Wayne Boyd, Robert Weldon. The all-British lineup brought the British team first with 94 points. Inter-Europol competition, second with 73 points. Real Team Racing, the Swiss bunch that won Le Casal 240, round 3 of the season, third, 68 points. Euro International, the American team that picked up 2 podiums this year, 55 points. And United Autosports, fifth with 46.5 points for car number 3. This is where it gets crazy. The LMGTE standings was a tie. And even the tiebreaker was difficult to make. Number 77, Proton Competition Porsche, 99 points. Number 74, Kessler Racing Ferrari, 99 points. Hear me out. Both cars this year in 5 races, 2 wins, 2 second-place finishes, 1 pole, respectively.
Yep. It was close. Really close. It was really close.
Why they gave it to the 77 if the 77 had a 6th-place finish at Spa as their worst finish, and their worst finish for the 74 was a 4th.
But the 77 beat them in this race. They were first. The 74 was second.
So I bet they do tiebreakers a little bit differently. Ferrari, third, 4th. The number 55, Spirit of Race Ferrari, finished third, 62 points. The number 83 Iron Lynx Ferrari, the all-female team, finished 4th with 3 podiums this year, 61 points, just 1 point shy of the Spirit of Race Ferrari. And Proton Competition Porsche, 47 points. They finished 5th. So it really came down to Porsche versus Ferrari. Not Ford versus Ferrari, but Porsche versus Ferrari in the 2020 European Le Mans Series season. In fact, there was only one non-Porsche and Ferrari this year. That was Aston Martin Racing entry that picked up a podium at the Spa race, round 2 of the season, to third. And that's it. And there's another series we'll discuss, and that's the IMSA WeatherTech Championship race at Laguna Seca, the final sprint race of the season. It was round 10 of 11 in Monterey, California. And the first major auto race in the state of California since who knows how long. DPI, it was all Team Penske. Acura Team Penske finished first and second. It was the number 7 car driven by Elliott Castroneves and Ricky Taylor that finished over the number 6 car, which was driven by Juan Pablo Montoya and Dane Cameron. They finished second to the number 7. The 7 was pretty aggressive when Elliott drove the car early in the race. Lots of contact was made with the, I think it was the 31 car, the Whelen Engineering Cadillac, which they had a history. If you missed the Petit Le Mans many weeks ago, they made contact and neither driver won the race. Whelen Engineering did get on the podium. 4th place was number 55 Mazda Motorsports, Mazda DPI over the number 77 Mazda Motorsports. Wayne Taylor Racing Koenigsegg Minolta Cadillac finished in 6th. 7th place was the number 5 JDC Miller Cadillac, the Mustang sampling entry. And 8th place was the number 85 JDC Miller Motorsports Cadillac. 8 cars in LMP1. LMP2 class car that ran the race was the number 51 PR1 Matheson Motorsports. 52, my bad. It was driven by Patrick Kelly and Simon Trumer.
Yeah, they didn't finish the race. They had an issue, but they were the only car, so they got the win in that class.
GTLM class, the championship is already decided after an infraction after the race by the number 4 Corvette car. We'll discuss the number 912 Porsche GT team, driven by Lawrence Vantor, Earl Bammer, the 2 drivers that actually were part of the Spa 24-hour winning lineup this year. End up winning in Cali. The 912 Porsche GT team went over the number 3 Corvette Racing Chevrolet, which we'll get into in a minute. The number 4 Corvette Racing Chevrolet was to finish 3rd, but after that infraction, they were bumped off the podium. The number 911 Porsche GT team were moved up to 3rd. Number 24 and number 25 BMWs finished 4th and 5th, and then the number 4 Corvette, likewise 6th. That was enough for the number 3 Corvette Racing Chevrolet, driven by Ricky Taylor and Jordan Taylor and Antonio Garcia, to win the GTLM Championship for 2020. GT Daytona was the final. This was the final race of the 2020 WeatherTech Sprint Cup, which is an exclusive championship for GT3s as part of the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. It was number 86 Meyer Shank Racing with Curb Agajani and Acura NSX GT3 that took the win. Mario Farnbacher and Matthew McMurray drove the car to victory in class over the number 96 Turner Motorsport BMW. 3rd place was the number 57 Heimracher Racing with Meyer Shank, Curb Agajanian, Acura NSX. The Heart of Racing team, number 23 Aston Martin, finished 4th in class, and 5th place was the number 44 GRT Magnus Lamborghini. 6th place, number 16 Wright Motorsports Porsche. 7th, number 63 Scuderia Corsa Ferrari. 8th place was number 12 Aim Vasser Sullivan Lexus. 9th place, number 74 Riley Motorsports Mercedes AMG. And in 10th, the number 30 Team Hardpoint Audi. It was the top 10 in the GT Daytona class. And the number 14 Aim Vasser Sullivan Lexus RCF GT3 won the WeatherTech Sprint Cup Championship. The sprint races have been decided. And I assume, Justin, you were watching the iRacing finale.
No, just looking at random things on my phone. People just posting about different things and posting about F1 and being angry about the race at Imola. Just people being angry about that.
All right. In the end, there are many championships on the line here. we're going to start it off with the DPI Championship. It is the number seven car for Acura Team Penske. 242 points. One more race left. They are tied for third in the Michelin Endurance Cup. Second place is the number 10 Konica Minolta Cadillac, 240 points. So it's a 2-point gap. But Konica Minolta Cadillac, the Wayne Taylor Racing entry, they're also in the hunt for the Michelin Endurance Cup. 33 points so far. It's a good gap.
Yeah.
Sebring has to be perfect for them.
And also it's been this year, that number 10 Cadillac, they've been good at these endurance races. They've been more consistent at the endurance races compared to the sprint races. Like you saw Rolex 24, they were up front. They won the Rolex 24. They won the Petit Le Mans. Like anytime you go to an endurance race, you always don't count out that number 10 car. You're not going to count them out at Sebring.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go down the classification here. So the 10, they're in the hunt here, but in terms of the Michelin Endurance Cup, still alive for the number 31 Whelen Engineering Cadillac for Action Express Racing. 233 points in the championship and 28 points in the Michelin Endurance Cup. Fourth place is number 55 Mazda Motorsports, 225 points. And fifth place is number 5 JDC Miller Mustang Sampling Racing Cadillac, 223 points. And they seem to be out of the Michelin Endurance Cup championship hunt. LMP2 class is clinched. It's the number 52 PR1 Matheson Motorsports Orca 07 with 161 points in the overall championship for LMP2. When I shouldn't say overall, I should say for the total championship.
Yeah.
11 races. And they lead the Michelin Endurance Cup with ease, 40 points compared to 23 points with the Star Works entry.
Yeah.
23, but it's second in the total championship. It's the number 38 Performance Tech Motorsports. 3 times they finished second this year, 96 points. Third place, the number 18 Aero Motorsports Orca, 92 points. Fourth place, number 8 Tower Motorsports by Starworks. They're second in the Michelin Endurance Cup. Fourth in the LMP2 Championship. Fifth place, the Rolex 24 winner, Dragon Speed.
Yeah.
61 points. And Inter Europol competition, they finished third. Petit Le Mans.
Yeah.
30 points. All right, so that's the prototypes.
Yeah.
GT Le Mans class, the GTLM categories. It's the Corvettes. They are first and second, but because of the infraction by that number 4 Corvette, the number 3 clinches the championship one race earlier.
Yep.
There's still work to do. The Michelin Endurance Cup is very close in this category, and I'll explain why. But let's look at the first, the main category, the entire championship in 2020. Number 3 Corvette, 325 points over number 4 Corvette Racing, which they have 290 points, tied with the number 4 Corvette Racing. The number 24 BMW Team RLL is leading the Michelin Endurance Cup. I need to slow down. The number 25 BMW Team RLL is fourth, 5 points behind the 24 car. Porsches, they're set back 262 points for the 911 Porsche and the 912 Porsche, 257 points. Risi Competizione Ferrari only entered at Daytona earlier this year, 25 points. But the Michelin Endurance Cup is really close now.
Yeah.
It's actually the 911 Porsche because they have 31 points. I take that back. The 24 BMW is third. The 20. So in second in the Michelin Endurance Cup is a 912 Porsche. Third is the number 24 BMW. See, this is what happens when I read off Wikipedia. I see the gold background, like it's labeled, and I say something really dumb. So, 23 points. That's the 25 BMW Corvettes. 22 points, 20 points, 6th and 7th. So it's not over yet in the Michelin Endurance Cup. Not at all. The two Porsches will duke it out, but BMW will need a miracle to win second in the complete GTLM championship. That leaves us with GTD. The GT Daytona class consists of FIA GT3 regulations. Number 86 Meyershank Racing with Curb Agrajani and Acura lead after their win yesterday. Right Motorsports Porsche is second, so that's an 11 point. Actually, it's 9 points between the two cars. Third place is the winner of the 2020 WeatherTech Sprint Cup, the number 14 Aim Vassar Sullivan Lexus RCF GT3. That car driven by the 14 was driven by Aaron Telitz and Jack Hawksworth.
Yeah.
So they were part of the WeatherTech Sprint Cup this year. The number 96 Turner Motorsport BMW, they are 10 points behind the 14 Lexus in fourth. Number 12 Aim Vassar Sullivan Lexus is fifth. They finished third in the WeatherTech Sprint Cup. And fun fact, third, fourth, and fifth so far. I mean, as it stands currently in the IMSA WeatherTech Championship, are first, second, and third in the WeatherTech Sprint Cup. The Michelin Endurance Cup, however, is the number 48 Paul Miller Racing Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo. That car was driven by Corey Lewis, Madison Snow, Brian Sellers, Andrea Caldarelli. They lead the Michelin Endurance Cup and were part of the 24 Hours of Daytona winning squad. They finished second in the 6 Hours of Atlanta. They finished seventh at Petit Le Mans. And they need a good finish to hold that spot and win the Michelin Endurance Cup. They have 35 points. Listen to this. Second place in the Michelin Endurance Cup is a three-way tie. Number 44, GRT Magnus Racing Team Lamborghini. The number 63, Scuderia Corsa Ferrari, the car that won Petit Le Mans. And the number 86, Meyershank Racing with Curb Agrajani, team that won the 6 Hours of Road Atlanta. Third place in the Michelin Endurance Cup is the winner of the WeatherTech Sprint Cup, number 14, Aim Vassar Sullivan Lexus RCF GT3.
Yeah.
It's really close over there. And just in 2 weeks' time, we'll find out who wins these championships, who wins the 12 Hours of Sebring.
Still, the entry lists are not out yet. They'll be out around Wednesday, Thursday this week. Usually they do it like around 6 to 7 days before the event. So it's going to be out this week at one point.
Yeah, excuse me while I'm looking shocked that the Giants are actually winning this game.
They're 1-6.
I know.
And the Patriots are still on a losing streak recently. They lost again.
5-2. Can't write it off now.
Yeah, but the Patriots are not doing that good this season. They lost again to the Bills.
Well, the Patriots are another level. I guess they needed Brady back.
Yeah, like the Patriots are just like trying, but they lost the 24-21 against the Bills. Yeah.
Okay. So, as we mentioned, the AMG WeatherTech Championship. One more race, 12 Hours of Sebring on the 14th of November. So, 2 weeks from now. That will also coincide with the FIA World Endurance Championship finale. 8 hours of Bahrain and the 24H Series finale. The 12 hours of Mugello. We'll have that all covered for you next week. The podcast. So that's it for sports car racing. All right. This is what we've been waiting for. We're going to get into the race weekend here for Phoenix. The final race of the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series is the Phoenix 500K, the NASCAR Championship 500. I guess that's what they call it.
Oh, no. It's season finale 500. Really, they couldn't find a sponsor. So they're like, oh, season finale 500. That's a good title. Yep. Interesting title name. But, yep. It's going to be 312 laps around Phoenix.
And this track has changed for quite a while.
Yep. Yeah, it's the same layout since the fall race, 2018, with the turn, the old turn 1 and 2, like turn 1. That's where the finish line is. So that's where 3 and 4 is at. Like where the old turn 1 was, that's turn 3. The old 3 and 4, that's where 1 and 2 is. So different layout. They have the dog leg still there. And 39 cars are in that field this weekend.
So let's get some history for Phoenix, starting off with some of the history of this event. The first race here was back in 1988. Alan Kulwicki picked up his first career win that day and invented what we now call the Polish victory lap. You do one lap backwards, saluting the fans after winning a race. Hear me out. Joey Logano won this year, and Denny Hamlin won last year. They're both in the Championship 4. Who has the most wins? The driver that everyone's lucky, if they're competing for a championship, not to be part of the Championship 4. That is Kevin Harvick. 9 wins, more than any other driver. Then Jimmy Johnson, 4 wins. Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr. share 3 wins at Phoenix. Davey Allison, Jeff Burton, Carl Edwards, Jeff Gordon, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Matt Kenseth, Mark Martin, and Ryan Newman all share 2 wins here. So it's a very diverse track in terms of who has multiple wins, especially in that 2 wins column. If you notice, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, they're in the Championship 4.
But even people that have never won here could still get a win here.
Right. As far as team victories are concerned at this track in the fall race, Hendrick Motorsports, 6 wins. So if you're a Chase Elliott fan, that's the stat you want. 6 wins. Team in the fall race here.
Yeah, but he just has to just be clean. Don't be too aggressive. Like, example, don't hit into someone on the first lap. Don't do those mistakes. Just don't do a mistake that would cost you. Just be calm on lap 1. Don't be too aggressive early on.
On the list here, Roush Fenway Racing, 5 wins. Richard Childress Racing, Joe Gibbs Racing share 4 wins at this track of the fall. Robert Yates Racing, 3 wins. Team Penske and Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, 2 wins. Manufacturer wins of the fall. If you are a Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski fan, this could be it for you. Or a Chase Elliott fan. 13 wins for Ford and Chevy in the fall race at Phoenix. 4 wins for Toyota, 2 wins from Pontiac. So I know you can't play with numbers too much, but there's a good way to picture how this could go, how this could be. on Sunday.
We're
gonna start off by we're gonna go ahead and look at all the drivers in the championship 4 and how they've raced at Phoenix from their very beginning.
Okay.
Start with the most recent driver to race. That was Chase Elliott. Now, mind you, this track changed 3 times. The dogleg hairpin, or not the hairpin, the dogleg
hairpin.
The rumble strip on the dogleg in the grass was all taken out in 2011, where a groove was created.
Yeah.
By drivers at that time.
Yes.
Then the start finish line was moved to the backstretch dogleg.
Yeah.
2018. Where it's at today.
Yeah, and I'm actually have the stats for it's all their stats at Phoenix. Like Chase Elliott. I'm looking at Chase's stats. He has 9 starts at Phoenix. He has 0 wins, 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s, 7 top 20s, 249 laps led. He has 1 pole, average start of 5.0, an average finish at 13th. But the thing that plagues Chase Elliott at this track, he has 1 DNF, which is decent. But the thing about Chase Elliott, he has a good average everything. He has good numbers. Still looking for that win. Because he has good numbers.
Chase Elliott began racing at Phoenix in 2016 as a rookie. He finished 8th and finished 9th in 2016. A very good start there. 2017, he could have won. And when I say that, I mean he seriously could have won twice. He led 106 laps in 2017, but a bad pit stop resulted in 12th. In the fall race, he almost won, but led 34 laps, finished 2nd. He finished 3rd the next time they raced again in the spring, and then as the new configuration began, it's been rocky. He led 16 laps in the fall, started 2nd, finished 23rd. He started 2nd again in the spring last year, finished 14th. A 39th, did it poorly after he crashed out last year. And this year he started on pole at 93 laps to finish 7th. These are great numbers for Chase Elliott. But we're going to hold on those championship predictions for later. Next on the list, Brad Keselowski.
Okay, I actually got his stats in front of me. Brad Keselowski, he has 22 starts at Phoenix. He has 0 wins, 6 top 5s, 10 top 10s, 19 top 20s, 248 laps led, 1 pole, average start of 14.3, and average finish at 13.5. He has 1 DNF, which he finished 42nd, but his best finish here is 2nd place in that for Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski, it's never won here, but it's been close many times to win at this track. I'm looking off his stats at the track itself. His first start here, November 2009, driving for Team Penske. Started 26th, finished 37th. 2010 in April, started 22nd, finished 16th. 2010 in November this is his only DNF at the track. He started 30th, finished 42nd. Then after that, he started 9th, finished 15th in the spring of 2011. Started 12th, finished 18th in the fall, but 2012, this is where he starts turning it around.
Mm-hmm.
In March, he started 28th, led 3 laps, and finished 5th. 2012, in November, started 14th, led 10 laps to finish 6th. 2013 was decent also. He started 11th, finished 4th and led 16 laps. In November, he led 27 laps, started 12th, finished 11th. 2014 was really good. He started on pole, led 3 laps, and finished 3rd. And then in the fall, started 2nd, finished 4th. Then after that, more top 10s. 2015, he started 6th, finished 6th. November, started 18th, finished 9th, led 4 laps. 2016, it gets rocky again. He in the spring, he started 19th, finished 29th. In the fall, started 14th, finished 14th. 2017 in the spring, started 6th, finished 5th. Started 16th and finished 16th in November. In March, started 25th, finished 15th after leading 12 laps. 2018 started 12th, finished 2nd, led 32 laps. March, 2019, started 5th, finished 19th. In the fall, started 12th, led 3 laps, finished 10th. And his recent race, he led 82 laps, started 14th, finished 11th. So there's some years he has consistency. Other years it's just like the car some races, his car's not the best. That's why his stats are inconsistent at the track.
Here's what I do like about Brad Keselowski is that it seems like every race that he's ran it, whether he finishes good or bad, he at least leads a decent number of laps in the race and is a factor. However, there's 312 of them. You have to be there towards the end.
He might have a good car. Possibly. I heard some things about him having a really good car that he's driven before and won it in that car.
All right, the next driver on the list is Brad Keselowski's teammate, Joey Logano.
Okay.
Joey Logano is a 2-time winner at Phoenix. In fact, he won the last time they raced here, which was March of this year. Joey Logano at Phoenix.
Sets are interesting.
He's got a win, 4 top 5s, 8 top 10s, 2 poles. He led 286 laps. An average start of 11th, average finish of 17th. He's ran at the finish 19 times.
Huh.
Oh, he finished, actually, no. Yeah, 5 top 5s. I was reading Pocono stats.
No. His stats, he has 23 starts at this track, 2 wins, 5 top 5s, 12 top 10s, 16 top 20s, 449 laps led. He has 1 pole, 1 DNF, average start of 10.9. His worst finish at Phoenix is 37th. But
all right.
I'm looking at all his stats. His first start was, 2009 April. 2009 was not the best. In the spring, he started 31st, finished 21st. Fall started 27th, finished 21st. Then in the 2010 was interesting. He started 6th, finished 10th in the spring. In the fall, started 10th, finished 3rd. But 2011's more inconsistency. He started 6th, but finished 33rd with a blown motor. And then in the fall, started 25th, finished 11th. 2012, started 9th, finished 10th. And then started 15th, finished 27th in the crash when Jeff Gordon turned Clint Bowyer. And then after that, his first run at Penske, started 32nd, finished 26th. But then in the fall, started 3rd, led 33 laps to finish 9th. 2014, really consistent.
This is when it gets good.
Started 2nd, finished 4th, led 71 laps. Fall, started 4th, led 17 laps to finish 6th. 2015, started 2nd, led 35 laps to finish 8th. November, started 14th, finished 3rd. 2016, the spring, started 9th, finished 18th. And then here, November 2016, he started 4th, led 58 laps to win the race. Then 2017, he started on the pole, but led 82 laps and he crashed out, finished 31st. And then started 9th, finished 12th in the fall. But then he started 5th and finished 19th in the spring. And then started 9th, but finished 37th. That's his worst finish here with a DNF. 2019, he started 12th, finished 10th. Started 2nd, finished 9th, led 93 laps in last spring at fall. And then the recent race, started 13th, led 60 laps to win in the spring. So Joey's stats, some of the years it's been bad, but it's like when he went to Penske, that's where the stats started getting better at Phoenix.
Yeah, he seems very steady. Logano broke up about 6 races of just bad luck with that win this year. And if you're Logano fans out there, better cross your fingers. Logano keeps that stat up. He'll need it for sure.
Yeah.
Last but not least is Denny Hamlin.
Wow.
Denny Hamlin.
He's ran the most.
Experienced driver of all of them.
Yeah, he's ran 30 races. His stats are in 30 starts at Phoenix. 2 wins, 13 top 5s, 17 top 10s, 25 top 20s, 821 laps led, 2 poles, average start 10.2, average finish 11.27, 1 DNF with a 35th place finish. That's his worst finish here, which I'm just looking through. His first start, 2005, in the fall. He started on the pole. That was his first pole, by the way. He led 23 laps to finish 13th. But then 2006 was up and down in 2006. He started 6th, finished 34th in the spring of 06. And then he started 22nd, finished 3rd. 2007, he started 3rd, finished 3rd in the spring, led 70 laps. The falls, he started 15th to finish 16th. 2008, started 16th, finished 3rd. Started 8th, finished 5th in the spring. Then in 2009, he started 12th, finished 6th. November 2009, started 5th, finished 3rd. But then 2010's kind of inconsistent. Started 26th, finished 30th. And then the fall, started 17th, led 190 laps to finish 12th. 2011, he started 12th, led 9 laps to finish 11th. And then in the fall, 33rd, he started 33rd, finished 12th. 2012, he started 13th, led 61 laps to win. In the fall, started 3rd, led 46 laps to finish 2nd. 2013, he started 8th, finished 3rd in March. And then November, he started 2nd, led 18 laps to finish 28th. 2014, he started 12th, finished 19th. He started on the pole, finished 5th in the fall, led 24 laps. 2015 was quite inconsistent. Started 25th, finished 23rd in March. In November, started 13th, finished 8th. 2016, started 3rd, finished 3rd. And then 5th, started 5th, led 4 laps to finish 7th in the fall. 2017, he started 19th and finished 10th. And then November, started 2nd, led 193 laps and crashed out, finishing 35th. 2018, he started 6th, finished 4th, led 33 laps. November, started 10th, finished 13th. 2019, he started 3rd, finished 5th, led 7 laps. November, started 3rd, won the race, led 143 laps. And the recent start, he started 3rd, finished 20th. That's his recent start here, finishing 20th. Yeah. Yeah, that's Hamlin's stats at Phoenix.
All right. So Hamlin looks pretty good. Hamlin, I think 2 wins at Phoenix.
That's 2 wins.
8 years apart, almost. I like the amount of laps he's led here in the races where he's definitely found success. 2017 was a blow. He led 193 laps, crashed. 2019 led 143 laps. You cannot forget 2010 when he led 190 laps to finish 12th. And this is where we're going to leave off on the Cup Series. Your 2020 NASCAR Cup Series champion is...
Oh, jeez.
Should I go first or you go first?
I'm just
Or are those chips
No,
helping you find that answer?
I'm just trying to think, like, but we didn't even give. If we give our championship pick, we don't know who's going to win the race either.
That's another question.
For,
Will the race winner win the championship, or will the race winner not be a championship Ford driver in the first time in the format's history since 2014? That's another question, because
yeah,
Kevin Harvick is not part of the championship four, and he has 9 wins here.
yeah.
But the 2020
Oh,
NASCAR Cup Series champion is, and I have my answer,
oh.
Denny Hamlin.
Not so fast, Joseph. My pick for the championship, this driver, he has a car that he ran before and he's won in it. He won at New Hampshire. And he's in that same car he brought to New Hampshire with this weekend. Brad Keselowski will be the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Brad Keselowski, 8 years since his last title with a completely different format. Whoever wins this championship, it's going to be a big story, big deal. Work hard and end up in this spot. They're going to deserve it. And I think they're in an even playing field. I know people are mad about the whole format with the championship playoffs, but guess what? The championship four is one race. The best will win. Whoever that may be, we'll have to find out on Sunday.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we can't predict magically who wins. You can we can't time travel.
Okay. I mean, hey, if there was time traveling for Texas, I would definitely tell NASCAR to get the race done early.
Well, it was raining. Putting white rain tires, the cars would all slid down and crashed out, which that would have been not so smart.
All right. Time for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here at Phoenix, the last race of the season, round 33 of 33, the final race of the 2020 Xfinity Series Championship, the Phoenix 200. This year, Brandon Jones picked up the win. Last year, it was Justin Allgaier, and if you're an Allgaier fan, you want that stat. Most wins here, 11 times Kyle Busch gone to victory lane at this track. Carl Edwards won here 4 times. Greg Biffle 3 times. Justin Allgaier, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano share 2 wins here. So of those winners, only 2 drivers on that category are not champions in the Xfinity Series. Those being Joey Logano, a Cup Series champion, and Justin Allgaier, who could be another driver to win an Xfinity Series championship. Team wins. I forgot to mention Jeff Gordon won the first race here back in '99. Team wins. Roush Fenway Racing 7 over Joe Gibbs Racing 5 wins. Team Penske and Junior Motorsports 2 wins each. When I say team wins, I mean the full race only.
Yeah, not the
wins in the fall. 9 wins from Ford. So if you're a Briscoe Cindric fan, that's going to favor you. 5 wins from Toyota, 4 wins from Chevy, 2 Dodge wins, 1 Pontiac win. We're going to go over the final 4 for each driver. We're going to start with Chase Briscoe.
Okay, just going to follow. No, that's not Chase Briscoe. Nope, that's not Chase Briscoe. Come on.
All right, I found his stats. 3 Phoenix starts in his career. 3 top 5s. Top 10s, my bad. See, you catch me when I'm tired.
Well, where? I'm getting confused. Oh, there's Chase Briscoe. For some reason, I kept reading Darrell Wallace Jr. I'm like, well, that's not Chase Briscoe. I kept reading the wrong driver. There he is. Oh, yeah. 3 top 10s. Yeah, I'm seeing his stats. He has 0 wins, 0 top 5s, 3 top 10s, 3 top 20s, 14 laps led, average start of 8th. His best finish is 6th. His worst finish here is 8th.
And in that race, he finished 8th. Sorry to cut you off there, Justin. Chase Briscoe led 14 laps and started 3rd.
And he actually has the best average of all the championship 4 drivers with an average finish of 6.67. Yeah, that is interesting. Which I'm reading is 3 races here, which he has only 3 starts, all with the 98 team. In March 2019, he started 12th, finished 6th, led 0 laps. Last November, he started 3rd, led 14 laps to finish 8th, and then he started 9th, finished 6th in March, which is really good. People are saying what Chase is not good at 1 mile tracks. I'm like, well, average finish is 6.67. That is impressive for a driver that has 3 starts at a racetrack.
All right, next on the list is Austin Cindric. Austin Cindric ran here 5 times, and 4 out of the 5 races he ran with were for Penske. His first start in 2018, driving for Roush, Jack Roush. He finished 16th after starting 13th. Later that year, he had a much better performance, and this is where you Cindric fans better get excited when I tell you that Austin Cindric was actually considered to be a pretty bad driver in 2018 in the Xfinity Series. He led 3 laps, started 3rd, finished 4th, and at an oval track, that was very impressive at the time.
Yeah, I'm looking here. 2019 was actually really good also. March 2019, he started 8th, led 13 laps, finished 5th. November 2019, started 7th, finished 6th. And then in March, he started 2nd, led 9 laps to finish 8th. That's also impressive for Austin Cindric.
All right, the tertiary driver on the list is Justin Haley. Justin Haley's stats at Phoenix, only 3 starts, a top 5, 2 top 10s, no laps led. All of them for Colleague Racing. His first start was spring of 2019. He started 10th, finished 12th. Last year, he started 14th, finished 7th. And this year, he again qualified 14th and finished 5th. It's hard to tell Justin Haley's lack of racing here, but for what we see, it looks pretty good. On the flip side, the most experienced driver in the championship four, without a doubt, is Justin Allgaier.
Yeah, I'm looking at his stats. Justin Allgaier, he has 9 starts at Phoenix.
No, you're reading his Cup stats.
No, that's his Xfinity stats. He has 9 starts.
He has 20 starts.
But it says 9 here, 2008 to 2020. His Cup stats, he only has 4 starts in Cup. He has 9.
I don't know where you're reading. I think you might be reading Michigan.
No, it says Phoenix. Justin Allgaier at Phoenix Raceway.
I'll send you the link.
I'm on driveraverages.com.
Oh, I'm on Racing Reference.
For me, Racing Reference, I just don't trust it sometimes.
There, that's what I'm off of.
But how does he have 20 starts?
Because his debut was at Penske in 2008.
Yeah, in November of 08.
Yes, Allgaier finished 11th, but then he finished an impressive 8th in the spring of 09. This was during a time when that series was consisted of full-time Cup Series drivers, and for Allgaier to finish 8th at that point of his career was a very big deal.
Oh, he has 20 starts. It said 9. I don't know why, but it actually says 20. But, okay, just looking through.
2009, 2010, he finished outside the top 10 twice more before another top 10 streak happened when Allgaier finished 8th in his final start at Team Penske, and then his debut at Steve Turner in 8th place again and in the 9th. Allgaier has not led any laps at Phoenix in this series until 2013. But before we go there, 2011 and 2012 as a contender for a championship. His championship hopes slipped away in 2011 when he finished 9th. 2012, a 15th and 11th for Allgaier. 2013, he started 12th, finished 11th. Or no, that was actually 2012. 2013, he started 5th and finished 3rd. In the fall that year, Allgaier led laps for the first time in his Xfinity Series career at Phoenix, where he started 12th, led 17 laps to finish 2nd. In his return season in 2016, Justin Allgaier finished 4th in both races. In the second race at Phoenix, he led 2 laps to finish 4th, put himself in a place to win the championship, almost win the championship that year.
Yeah.
Fell short to Daniel Suarez. 2017, Justin Allgaier picked up his first win at Phoenix after leading 85 laps, started from the 5th spot to finish 1st that day. And then later that year, he started and finished 10th. This is where Allgaier sets get really good. Despite the results in one of the few races, it's impressive enough. 2018, Allgaier started on pole at 76 laps, finished 2nd to Brad Keselowski. In 2018, Allgaier started 4th, led 69 laps, but ultimately finished a lap down in 24th.
Oh.
Not what the guys expected. 2019, he started 7th, finished in 14th, but in the fall, Allgaier clutched when he needed to. He led 85 laps after qualifying 5th and won the race, put him in a spot in the championship 4. Good performance by Allgaier. He did pretty good this year as well, but had a problem late in the race where Allgaier started 6th, led 51 laps to finish 13th. And your 2020 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion is this is tough. I'll let you go ahead and give your championship prediction first.
Okay. My 2020 NASCAR Xfinity champ, he has the most wins this season. Really good. And he's going to the Cup Series next year. Chase Briscoe will be your 2020 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion.
At the start of the season, I said Justin Allgaier was going to win the championship. I didn't know how well Cindric or Briscoe would do. I thought it would be between Allgaier and Chastain.
Right.
And maybe if Justin Haley does well, he could be part of the fight. But I had no idea how well Noah Gragson, Chase Briscoe, and Austin Cindric perform in 2020.
Yeah.
Especially with the given circumstances. But guess who's in the Final Four this year? He won the race at Phoenix last year to put himself in a to win a championship when the Final Four was at Homestead, and that is Justin Allgaier. Whoever wins this championship, it's going to be a huge celebration for them. Big deal. Whoever loses this championship, it's going to be a heartbreaking loss. But there's an underdog, and that is Justin Haley. Don't count him out.
Yeah. Like, I remember I've seen on their colleagues been saying they're the underdog with, like, for underdog, they put 2 1s in there because they're the 11. Like, they're the underdog in this.
One has to be number 1 at the end of this thing.
That's good for, like, Matt Colleague's team. That's really good for the Colleague team. Matt Colleague, like...
Interestingly enough, Justin, we expected for Matt Colleague's team that Ross Chastain would lead the team. He almost did, but in the end, it was not Allgaier, Justin Haley.
Yeah, it's like there's been races where Chastain was more inconsistent than... There's some races where Chastain's just not there compared to Haley. Like Justin Haley, some races you just see Justin Haley up there doing good, which really helps Justin Haley.
All right, let's move on to the Truck Series. And we're going to start with the the stats at Phoenix and the Truck Series drivers. Zane Smith has 0 starts at Phoenix in the NASCAR Truck Series.
So
he is a rookie, but he did race for Junior Motorsports and Xfinity last year. And in that race in 2019, he picked up a 5th place finish after starting 6th, was up front for most of the race. What does that tell me about his truck stats? They could be good. It's hard to tell because obviously we're not in the same series here.
Yeah.
Brett Moffitt.
Okay, I'm looking Moffitt. Moffitt's stats are
They're pretty good.
Yeah, I'm looking at just finding Brett Moffitt.
He only raced twice.
Yeah, I'm looking at where there's Brett Moffitt. Brett Moffitt in 2 starts, he has one win, 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, 2 top 20s, 19 laps led, average start of 8.5, best finish of 1st, lowest finish of 10th. That's impressive when Brett Moffitt won the 2018 race, and 2019 he finished 10th. So 10th is his worst finish. That's an average finish of 5.5. Impressive average for Brett Moffitt.
With Brett Moffitt, I'd like to see if he has any Cup races at Phoenix. He has 2 races there, but a best finish of 32nd.
For what team? BK Racing, probably?
Front row.
Oh, front row. Oh, yeah, when he drove the 34 car.
What about Xfinity Series? I'm going to pull that up. Phoenix 1 start, and that was
in the spring.
2020, finished 19th.
I'm looking here. Wow. Do you know what's interesting I just looked at? Grant Enfinger has the most starts of any truck driver at Phoenix with 3. Enfinger has 3 starts here. I'm looking at, where is he? I have Enfinger's stats in front of me. Enfinger has 3 starts, the most starts of any of the top, the final 4. In 3 starts, he has 0 wins, 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s, 2 top 20s, average shot of 9.7, an average finish of 11th, a best finish of 4th. His only non-top 10 was a 24th place finish in, let me check. His only
2017.
That's his only in a crash. Other than that, he's finished 4th in 2018 and 5th in 2019, which is really good on Enfinger recently.
All right. And the last driver is Sheldon Creed, who has 2 starts at Phoenix, both for GMS Racing. Unfortunately, it's a 10th and a 12th from 2018 to 2019. He's got to do better than that.
But the thing that does help him, he actually has the same average finish as Enfinger with 11th, which is decent. He has an average start of 9.5, but we know he'll be in the top 4 for the starting lineup, which will be released on Wednesday. But the thing with Sheldon Creed that this season, he's performed at different types of racetracks. Ovals, road courses, short, not sometimes
intermediate speedways.
Yeah, he's performed at different types of racetracks. And he's shown his speed at short tracks too. At Martinsville, he showed speed. So if he could have that speed at a Phoenix, because it's only a short 150 lap race, it's the shortest race at a short track for trucks is 150 laps. Which, if Creed has a good car, good truck, and has a good race, he'll have a shot at this championship.
He needs to perform like he did in Stadium Super Trucks to win this championship, just to be all out.
Or just do what he did at Texas, dominate the race.
Oh, yeah. All right, and finally, your 2020 NASCAR Gator RV Outdoors Truck Series champion is... my prediction, Brett Moffitt, championship number 2.
Well, not so fast, Joseph. This driver, he also drives for the same team. He's been winning many races. He's decent at Phoenix. My pick, Sheldon Creed, will win his first title in the Truck Series, and he will do like he did at Texas and actually not run bad, and he'll actually run up front the whole race.
All right.
Yep.
Now, there is a race to be ran here. Now, I left off the stats for last in the trucks because there's a lot of drivers here that could win besides the champions here. It's Phoenix 150. It's the 23rd and final race of the season. Stuart Friesen won last year.
Yep.
And the first race at this truck was the very first race of the Truck Series won by Mike Skinner.
Oh, that race.
Yeah. Just a memorable one for sure.
Yeah.
That fight against Terry Labonte to win that one. A classic. The Copper Road Classic, 1995. Kevin Harvick has the most wins here at 4 over Jack Sprague. 3 wins for Sprague. 2 wins for Mike Skinner, Joe Ruttman, Ron Hornaday Jr., Kyle Busch, and Eric Jones. Eric Jones at one point was the youngest winner in series history in 2013 before his record was broken by Cole Custer. Allowed in 2014. Team wins, Kyle Busch Motorsports and Kevin Harvick Incorporated. Kevin Harvick Incorporated, the old Childress Alliance team, and Kyle Busch Motorsports, the active Joe Gibbs Alliance team, 5 wins each. Hendrick Motorsports, 3 wins, all with Jack Sprague. 2 wins for Richard Childress Racing, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, and Roush Fenway Racing. So I guess if you drive a Childress-related Chevy, whether that is from RCR, DEI, KHI in the past, you have a pretty decent shot to win a race here.
Yeah.
Most big wins, obviously Chevrolet, 16 over Toyota with 9, 3 with Ford, 1 with Dodge. Who's going to win the race, and will the winner be the champion here?
For me, the winner won't be the champion. The winner will be someone else. My driver to win the race. In all the active drivers, he has the best average finish of 3.0 in one start, though. But he has one start, but he finished second to his teammate last year, which his teammate last year had a best average finish of 2.0. This driver drives truck number 51. Chandler Smith is going to win his first career win at Phoenix for Kyle Busch Motorsports.
My pick to win the race is Austin Hill.
Yeah.
It won't be the win he expected or wanted.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a nice sign for what's to come in the future. Because Austin Hill, see him not get through Martinsville, that was painful.
Yeah, I remember at one point you were literally saying, get the points, like the stage points. I told you he's not in the lead lap. And then you looked at the live timing. You're like, he's down 3. He was down 3 laps because the engine issues on that 16 truck. Which I'm glad that I remember that Austin Hill, they even know his plans until, remember, on Friday before the race, he announced that he would drive full-time for Hattori in the trucks and part-time Xfinity racing in the 61, which Austin Hill's doing decent at Xfinity part-time racing, and he's back with the team full-time for trucks, which is really good for Austin Hill.
All right, and before we go, since it's the last race of the West Series Championship, ARCA West Series, pretty much the biggest race of the West Series each year is at Phoenix. This year, normally 27 cars would be a bit small or average for the West Series, but this year it's a pretty big field.
Usually there's only, recently there's been 13 to 16 entries, but 27 is a good entry list.
And also, there's a championship on the line between a driver who is the age of 15 and a driver who is the age of 20.
Yeah.
And it's going to be decided at the big track at Phoenix.
That's kind of bad that I'm going to be 18. I'm just sitting here, going to get it. I'm just sitting here, and Jesse Love's 15. Just in an ARCA West championship battle, and me at 15, I was doing reactions and playing video games. That's what I was doing at 15, not racing like Jesse Love's doing.
All right. So there's a 14-point difference between Jesse Love and Blaine Perkins. 36 points from Gracie Trotter. I don't think Trotter's out of the hunt, but Blaine Perkins is definitely in range, especially with a 27-car race. The chances of Blaine Perkins to win this championship and snag it from Jesse Love, whom they split 3 wins with each year, is even higher now.
Yeah, 27 cars. I know there's some slow cars, but there's also fast cars in there. DGR Crosley, they have 3 cars this week with Gilliland. David.
Both Gillilands.
Yeah, David's in the 4. The 54 is Todd, and then the 17 of Taylor Gray, Tanner's little brother. He's in that car. You have Ty Gibbs for Joe Gibbs Racing. Sam Mayer's entered for GMS. You have so many different teams.
Justin Lofton, who pulled off an upset win in the Truck Series at Charlotte in 2012.
Yeah, he's running for the Rhett Jones race team. You have Howie DiSavino III.
Jones, they're back. Nice to see them return.
Rhett Jones. You also have the 32 team of Howie DiSavino III. He's racing for the Wintron Racing. That Gustine's won races for that team in ARCA. There's so many teams. Like you have the Jefferson Pitts Racing number 7. Like so, you have many.
Dodson.
Yeah, you also have the Bill McAnally team. They have Alex Sedgwick, Wayland Euro Series driver from England, making his first start.
He has replaced Holly Holland. Number 212W.
Yeah, you also have Gio Scelzi, Jesse Love in the race, Gracie Trotter. You also have Vinorini has 2 cars with Drew Dollar and 3 cars actually. Corey Himes in the 20, and then Keith Rocco, modified driver, is making his first driving the 25. You have so many entries.
All right, who is going to win the race? The season closing ARCA West race at Phoenix.
Okay, for me, this driver, this will be his second ARCA West start, and his first one, he won the opening race at Las Vegas Bullring. Sam Mayer is going to win at Phoenix for GMS Racing.
When there's Sam Mayer, there has to be Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs is going to win this race.
Okay.
In the car that his father, Coy, put together for his grandfather's team, Joe Gibbs Racing. Mark McFarland, an experienced crew chief.
Yep.
It should be a fun race to watch. Now, the 2020 championship, who is going to win the 2020 ARCA Menards Series West Championship?
I have Jesse Love. The reason I have Jesse Love, he has experience at this track this year. Blaine Perkins didn't run the ARCA race that was there earlier. Jesse Love did. He was in the top. He was 7th until he crashed out with Drew Dollar. But, I feel like Jesse Love with, Bill McAnally Racing, they just, Bill McAnally, they're a strong team. They have 4 cars this weekend. Usually they only have, they have a 4-car team. And I feel like the experience of the team, and I feel like Jesse Love's speed will prevail them to get a championship.
What about Trevor Huddleston has been around for quite a while in the West Series.
Yeah.
He might help Blaine Perkins out.
Yeah, it's going to be a close battle.
Very close. And may the best win.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where this goes. But I'm going to be bold and have Blaine Perkins as my prediction to win the ARCA Menards West Series Championship.
Okay.
Whoever wins it deserves it.
Yeah.
It'll be a close fight to the end. This race will be highly competitive, no doubt.
Yep. 27 entries compared to usually the 13 that we usually get. 27 is good entry.
I am excited.
Yep.
All right. So we'll be back next week, and we'll find out who takes home the hardware in NASCAR, and we'll preview what's to come in sports car racing next weekend. It's a big weekend in sports cars. We have 12 hours Sebring, 8 hours Bahrain, Mugello 12 hours to wrap up the 24H Series, IMSA, and WEC championships, all in one weekend. The Turkish Grand Prix, preview of that.
Yep.
We'll recap the NASCAR Championship and how the drivers win the respective titles. It's going to be grueling for sure. Hot desert.
Yeah, it's not at Homestead like before. It's not going to be the 1.5 miles at Homestead. Nope, short track at Phoenix, which is going to be interesting.
All right. Time to sign off from my partner, Justin Hebert. Danny was unable to make it. I'll be back next week. And, I forgot to mention, Macau Grand Prix is in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, and F3 cars are not racing there anymore. It's going to be F4s this year. They switched it. But the entries are not out yet. They'll be out soon.
All right. For Justin and Danny, unfortunately, Danny couldn't be here tonight.
Yeah.
I'm Joe, signing off. Have a good one.